Already some heavy rain falling across the Sunshine State in the last 24 hours. We've got nearly half an inch already in Tampa, West Palm Beach, and nearly 3/4 of an inch in Miami. And this is just the beginning. You know, many spots across South Florida, locally speaking, multiple inches of rain in just a 24-hour span. Here's the reason why. It's an upper level low. This big storm system here, you can see it cruising through the Gulf. See that swirl right there just south of, let's say, Mobile, for example? That's where that center of low pressure is. But it's driving moisture all the way back across Florida, and rounds of rain are a concern for the Sunshine State today and tomorrow as well. This storm continues on toward Florida, and we just keep seeing those rounds of rain, and flooding is a big concern with just how much rain there is. Now, look, we're talking about a state that generally does see a lot of rain in a year, some areas more than 100 inches of rain in a given year. But, you know, it's too much of a good thing, right? It's too much rainfall all at once, especially. Let me point your attention towards South Florida. That's where I do think we have that possibility, really the highest possibility of flooding, even flash flooding possible. Look around Miami, where we could see 8 to 12 inches of rainfall through the day on Thursday. What am I saying here? Well, if you live in Florida, especially South Florida, please be careful, especially heading out on the roads where we could not just see some ponding on the roadways, but flooding and flash flooding as well. Now let's follow this storm here. It's essentially going to take a little boomerang action and cruise back up the eastern seaboard, but we get a little bit of a saving grace, if you will. It's a good news, bad news situation. Now this storm could take a little bit of a turn and head back toward New England, but that's not going to happen because there's a front moving through the northeast on Friday. That front is going to help nudge our storm out to sea, and while yes, it is going to be wet in the northeast Friday from the front and then Saturday from the combo of the front and our coastal storm, the brunt of the rain is really back through New England, especially 95 onto the east right along the coast. Aside from that, it's a few spotty showers on Saturday, some pockets of heavy rain at times looking from the Adirondacks onto the east. But it's a heck of a lot better than it could be if, let's say, that front weren't there and the storm had the opportunity to turn back to the west, for example, and really look at some heavier rain further inland. All things considered, is it a perfect weekend? No. But is it a total washout? No. You can see here in Buffalo, for example, well, interior northeast looking great after the front passes through. It's just chilly in the 40s, but it's Buffalo in November, so, you know, we're not too surprised by that, are we? Burlington, Boston, more in the way of the rainfall, especially on Saturday, but by Sunday, it'll be breezy and cool, but it'll clear out pretty effectively. New York, Baltimore, a bit more of the same, but more in the way of clouds than actual rainfall as we look across your weekend.